Hi, I'm Alister Lewis. I'm an architect by background, and I'm going to talk to you about construction technology today and also about the ad marketplace which I've created. The idea behind this is to provide access to construction technology software to make the industry better, faster, and greener. So we're going to have a little introduction to me and my background, which I think would be helpful to understand where I'm coming from, a little bit about construction technology and why I think it's really important at this time and what's happening with that. AEC and construction technology and what the relationship there is and how that can progress, and then the digital marketplace as well. And then at the end, I'll have a link so you can get in touch with any questions that you might have. So just about me in the past, my background is as an architect, and I practiced what I call it as a normal architect for a period of time, and then transitioned into BIM management using Revit and using collaborative workflows with other consultants. And then a previous role where I was the head of technology, looking at a range of different things, whether that's hardware, software, processes, research and development, training. There was a wide broad spectrum of things that I got involved with, and then moved into more software product management, where we're leading a team and supporting a team to produce integrations between different software, and we'll have a quick look at that today. And what I've done now is set up AD as a startup founder and also as a consultant, and we'll have a quick look at that as well. So here's some examples of the work that I've completed in the past. There are lots to do with public buildings, schools, community centres, residential buildings, and it's a role that I've really enjoyed and loved. And then over that period of time, I've transitioned into more building information modelling. I've done a master's in BIM, looking at the background of the context of BIM, but also the broader construction industry as well. And you can see here examples of the work that I did, working collaboratively with other consultants, trying to deliver buildings which are much better, more effective and efficient over the long term. And during that period of time, I've got involved very much with digital fabrication as well, and other digital methods to produce models and fabricate ideas. My most recent role, I was doing focused on searching, reviewing, reporting, and integrating software. So the idea was that we have clients who say, look, we're looking for a solution to this particular problem, and that allowed me to go away, search for that particular software that they might be looking for or process, reviewing that, understanding what that involved, reporting back on that and saying, look, these are the recommended areas for this, and then integrating and implementing that. So the integration part of that is linking between different software, and we'll look at that today, what that actually looks like. But that implementation area becomes really crucial to what a client needs and how they do that effectively. So an example of that is that we have Schema, Archistar, SpaceMaker and SiteSolve. These are all generative design software, and we had a client that wanted to look at finding out which one was the most effective generative design piece of software for them for early stage feasibility. This is for a housing client, so not necessarily an architect, but it would apply across a number of different consultants. And what you can see here is that we're using the data that we received back on that in terms of the scoring and illustrating that with Power BI to give a visual overlook on that data, so that it's really engaging. Clients can understand exactly what they're getting, and it makes the whole process a lot more interesting, essentially, as to how that data can be conveyed back. And what that then led to was the selection of a preferred tool because it met the requirements of that particular client, and that then could then be implemented into their office. And as I said earlier, what we try to then do is start to do integrations between those software so that to speed up that workflow. So in this case, we're looking at View City, which is a planning tool, into SiteSolve, which is a generative design tool, and then take that into Revit and create a full Revit model based around a kit of parts that the client had put together in Revit automatically. So this process can be created in an automated way, and that's what we're really looking to do, is just say, look, let's find the right solutions for you, let's put them all together, and then we can save weeks of time with all those solutions together in one place. So during this period of time, what I was becoming very aware of is that there are a lot more software out there for architects, engineers and construction professionals to take hold of. And I've built up a database of these solutions. Now, this has reached over 780 different architecture, engineering and construction solutions. And it's a database which is all named, tagged and categorized and has a huge amount of data in there. But what it was revealing to me was that this industry was expanding extremely fast. And looking into this in more detail, you can see that over the last few years, there's been exponential growth in the arrival of new construction technology software. And the advent of AI in the last year or so has actually really started to push that forward, where these AI tools are being leveraged into existing construction technology software or creating new software that bases around data sets. And that's moving the industry forward at an incredibly fast rate. And across the whole construction technology sector, what we're looking at is that this will double over the next 5 to 6 years. And that's an incredible amount of investment going to go into construction technology by firms, but also by the construction technology and venture capitalists themselves. So what this means is that there's a huge amount of technology out there that will start to be used and needed to be understood by consultants, professionals, construction companies, and that's where I position myself very much. And what I'm really keen and clear about is that the future is already here. It's just not very evenly distributed. So all of these technology solutions are out there, but clients, consultants, construction professionals don't know that they're out there. They're not very well used or implemented, or haven't been identified at all that could help save time, make things better, faster, more productive, and greener as well. So I've set up ADD, Automated Data-Driven Design, to help with that process. And the idea is that we could provide access to all AEC software seamlessly through a digital marketplace. So I'm going to show you what that looks like today and why I think that's really important and exciting at this time. And the idea is to support construction to be better, faster and greener. We know that productivity is an issue in construction, so I want to support that with better digital tools. We know we could be faster in the way that we deliver things, and we know that the challenges in the future with climate crisis to be greener is really important. So I've set up ADD to perform things like tech stack reviews, software options analysis, and make recommendations based around that database, but also around my experience in the field. So this is what the industry used to look like when I started 25 years ago. We had very few software tools out there that were needed to do the job, and these are just a very highlight. There's 3 sort of key areas: CAD package, a presentation package, and then desktop publishing, and that was pretty much what we had and what was required. So it was fairly simple. Fast forward to today, and we've got a much more complex picture out there. So huge amount of different software out there, some larger software houses which are bringing those into their own stable of solutions. So people like Hexagon, Trimble, Autodesk have a number of solutions within there, but it's an incredibly complex picture. And actually to the right of this, you could create another sort of set now of all these new construction technology software companies which are out there, which are starting to make this picture more complex again, and expand that out in the future. So what does this mean for architecture, engineering and construction professionals, and what does it mean for construction technology companies? Well, I think for professionals, they want to focus on their roles, they want to be really good at it, and they want to be much more efficient, and they want to automate the mundane work. So we know that we can automate some of this sort of repetitive tasks that we don't need to be doing, and we can use software to do that. But unfortunately, finding the right solutions is really challenging because it's really hard to search for them. There's not very good repositories for that currently, and that takes a lot of time and resource out of professionals' day-to-day jobs, which is very, very complex and demanding. And then for construction technology companies, they want to make the connections with those professionals and they want to meet their needs. They want to support the industry to be much more efficient and effective, and that's where they see their solutions solving specific problems. And they think they have the technology to do that, but they're finding it hard to be discovered by professionals themselves, and it is time consuming to implement those solutions. And this is where you have a tension between the two, and where I think that ADD actually connects the two things together. So we've got the ability to understand the requirements for both sides, support them both, and make that connection between them. And the idea here is to further that process where you have a way of searching, reviewing, reporting on, and integrating and implementing those solutions. So you can see here that we sit right in the middle of that, and it's a really amazing, interesting time for construction technology. And the way that we do that is that we take a scoring system with a scoring criteria, apply a rigorous system to that, and we can test those software options. So for example here, the generative design solutions, we can then score those, we can then collate those results, and and communicate that back to clients. And this is a sort of rigorous process to go through. And then as part of that process, we can look at the interoperability between different software. So again, understanding how it fits into a workflow, what software works with what it is importable, what's exportable, and any of those stages that can be summarized and integrated into a streamlined workflow. And then again, looking at that kind of scoring, having a way of actually understanding and reporting back on that criteria. And this is where you get that Power BI diagram where you can say, actually, look, these are the areas that the client's really interested in. So we knew that a particular design challenge in this example was high priority, and that's what led to one of the particular solutions being chosen. So as part of that process, and as a result of looking at the construction technology industry and what's out there and what's required, I wanted to understand whether these processes could be automated and whether they could be made online. And where I see the big challenges is in searching. So at the moment, it takes a long time to find these solutions. LinkedIn commonly posts lists, and these lists are, people like those lists, but nothing really happens from those lists unless someone is really, really engaged with that process. And I wanted to make that process of finding solutions much more democratic, open, and accessible. So my solution to that is to create a platform approach to this, and a platform approach allows you to create an infrastructure that allows interactions and transactions as you would with any sort of platform. But the idea here is that we create an ad marketplace that is a central resource for construction technology, architecture, engineering, and construction software in one place so that people can search for it, find those solutions, and it becomes a centralized hub for that. So what you can see here is this is the video introducing the idea. So the ad marketplace is live now. You can go there and you can search for software based around different criteria that you were looking for. You can search for it by product, so you know the type of product you're looking for, and you can look for it based on the software vendor as well and look at their different products that they can put in there. So each vendor is able to create their own store and sell their own software within that location. So this went live a few weeks ago, and we're having software vendors put their software on there, and they can start to advertise what they do, which is really exciting. And then also we're connecting construction technology companies with those users. So users can perform that search, and then construction technology companies who are struggling to connect with them are able to put their products on there, and they can be found in a much more seamless manner. In terms of the next steps, and in terms of how to progress that process of search, review, report, and implement, the next step will be actually to have a virtual desktop infrastructure that allows users to select their software and then test that in a virtual environment so that they can get onto it as quick as possible. And commonly, from the research we performed, a lot of users struggle to get their software able to be tested quickly and easily. And the idea behind this is to create a virtualized environment, and users can test that software in a quick and seamless manner. So by having a virtual desktop that will allow software to be implemented and uploaded into there, and users can open it up, test it out, and again start to report and start to feedback their findings from that process. And then what we're showing here is a report builder so that you can say, okay, you've got that testing process. Users can report on their experience. They can use a scoring criteria to say this is where we found things work really well, and this is where we were struggling to get that created. And what I'm looking at the moment is an automated AI report structure that can be built that can then use that and leverage that process. And then following on from that, we'll be looking at the integration and implementation side of things. So as part of my role here, there's a consultancy role that we perform that we can leverage that experience for different software and integrate them together so that you can start to automate repetitive tasks. You can link this software together, and you can take you can create a process which takes minutes rather than weeks to work. So with a background in that sort of product management, we can start to integrate between them using computational design, coding, creating apps, Revit plugins, and things like that. And the idea is to help clients and consultants to actually be much faster with what they do. So what you can see here is that we've launched the ad marketplace. It's out there, and there'll be a link to that at the end of this presentation that you can go and have a look and sign up to. And then we are going through that, creating that testing environment at the moment. And then the AI reporting tool will come out later in the year. And then we'll announce the SaaS model to allow people to access that. But underneath all of this is a consultancy role that allows me to help and support companies in a supportive way, and to bring my experience to them, and help them to guide them in the sort of process that they're looking through. So if you want to get started, you're able to go to ad.io and you can see the marketplace there. If you want to create an account as a software vendor, you can create that. So if you've got a software that you're really keen to get to a wider audience, please create an account and put that on there. And as I say, if you are a consultant, then please go on there, have a look and start searching through the software and see if there's any solutions that meet your needs, and get in touch if there's anything that you think actually could be added. So the aim behind this is that the marketplace will save time and resource searching, reviewing, reporting, and implementing software. That's what we want to try and achieve. And we think we can do this in a much more effective way than we currently do. And then the idea behind all of this is to help the construction industry to be better, faster, and greener, to move forward and be a much more sustainable industry. And that's where we know the challenges coming forward in terms of additional residential units that need to be built, growing populations, growing urban environments, and we think that this system will help and facilitate the construction industry as a whole. So we know that construction technology is growing really fast. AI is fueling this. That's a really exciting area to be in at the moment. However, architecture and engineering construction professionals can benefit from these new solutions, but they need to be able to search and find them in a really effective way. And a process is needed to perform that search, review, and implementation effectively. And we've built that out, and we know what it looks like. And we want to automate as much of that as possible. And the ad marketplace is the first step in finding those construction technology solutions, and that's out there, it's live. Please go to ad.io, test this out, and give us feedback on this. So thank you very much for your time, really appreciate that. If you have any questions, please get in touch. You can see my email here, Allister@ad.io. Go to the website if you've got queries as well, and there's a contact form there as well. But really appreciate your time watching the presentation. Hopefully it's been helpful, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks very much.